Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm Hannah Elliott.
And I'm Matt Miller. This is Hot Pursuit. Coming up on today's podcast, Hannah is back from the world's largest showcase of supercars, the Concours, at the Wynn in Las Vegas.
We'll bring you my exclusive interviews with the president of Bugatti, Christoph Piochon, and Pagani's own Christopher Pagani.
Wow. Two, stratospheric
I know.
brands. And I'm excited about that. And I'm really happy that you went there and did that. But I've been kind of bummed out all week.
I have a feeling this has to do with a car, Matt.
Yes.
What
I mean,
happened?
super depressed that I missed out on an auction on Bring a Trailer for what for me is like a grail car. Okay, so I've been back on Bring a Trailer, constantly looking at it, and I'm seeing a lot of sweet deals. Remember last week we were talking about this Ferrari 360 with the 6-speed.
Yes.
And it went for $89,000 and, low miles, everything in perfect condition. And I thought, damn.
Surprising.
Kind of wish I'd pulled the trigger on that. But I also, it's a Ferrari. I don't need that in my neighborhood, really. And I feel like the maintenance could get out of hand. Maybe not, but could.
You also sent me that FF Ferrari.
Yeah,
that sold for pretty good too.
A gorgeous FF in a dark, a midnight blue with burgundy leather. Also low miles, amazing condition, some kind of special edition, and it went for 146, right?
I think 143. I just pulled it up. 143.
I mean, you're not losing money on that car.
No,
basically.
It's cool. Yeah.
But again, this is, you can't get that with a manual, and it's cool. I love it. But I just don't know how my wife would react,
She'd probably be excited.
No, she would not be excited. But, I've had, and she's had, a 911. So that's in my wheelhouse.
This is acceptable.
I think, it's a car that could be a supercar or just a very great sports car, depending which model you get. But Porsche you can pull that off in even a middle class neighborhood.
Sure. And
so I've been looking for a long, long time for an older air-cooled Porsche. Not because I'm all up on the whole Ted Gushue, Lufka cooled. I don't care, if it has a radiator or not. But I just want something that's simple, that's mechanical, that's, analog in every sense of it, even the steering. So I'm looking at basically 964 and previous because I don't like the 993, what they did with the headlights. So a lot of people consider 993 the pinnacle of air-cooled Porsches. It was the last one. Personally, the style just doesn't do it for me.
Okay. So you're describing basically 90s. Needs to be 90s for you.
80s, 70s. I'm happy with it would be cool to get the year of my birth, But what I also want is the wide body. I like the flared hips, both
G-body.
Front and back. And the 930 is what you want if what you're looking for if you want that. Usually, right? That's where they really came out with the first width. But that's a turbo. And although a lot of people love the turbo and they say it's hilarious and they Barry Ritholtz loves the kick, when it comes on, I want a more linear, controllable torque curve. So I want a naturally aspirated car. And you can get sometimes, there's the M491 package on the 3.2s or the WTL on the 964s, which is the, I think it was the wide turbo look or something like that, the factory turbo look with the naturally aspirated engine. But they're pretty rare. Right? You just don't see them around that much. They're not as expensive as the 930s, but they're just scarce.
So this is leading us to something. You saw something.
Exactly. One of the things Porsche did, and I also love cabrios. I know it's not purist, but I would probably drive the car mostly in the summer. So
it's fun.
Top down.
Yes.
Porsche made in the 964 generation an America Roadster, which I don't know the whole history of it. It was to commemorate a 356 or something. They did the same. And it's the turbo body, so the wider hips.
Yes.
It's a convertible, and it has the turbo, like the upgraded brakes and everything, but it has a naturally aspirated motor. And they're few and far between. They only made like 250 of them. And so you never really see them, or when you do, they're like $200,000 and more. But there was one on Bring a Trailer last week that was absolutely beautiful, like almost perfect. Literally a grail car. Did you see it? I showed it to you.
I'm looking at it. I went back into our texts and I pulled it up.
What do you think? What do you think of it?
It's so you. It's like if I imagine Matt Miller being happy driving, I see you in this car.
And it's the classic silver.
Cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's different. I like it. It's good.
It's just like no frills, everything you need, nothing.
This is a Florida car also. You know, like
it says Roadster on the back instead of Carrera something or 911 or whatever. It just says Roadster.
Yeah, it's cool. No, this is cool. And this says, to your point, it says it was produced to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the 356 America Roadster.
I knew it was something like that.
You got it right.
So, you got it right. And I'm looking at this following the auction. I remember when it was like 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. And I thought this thing is going to go for $250 because they don't come around that often. They're so popular right now, and it's the air-cooled, obviously, the G50 manual transmission, 5-speed, and I just thought, like, why bother? I'm never going to be able to afford this. Like, fun to watch, but I didn't watch the last few days of the auction.
Did you hit the little star that says watching?
Yes.
Like you were watching this?
The problem I have is that I hit that star for too many things. So
okay.
My inbox constantly has those. And then it at the end it went for $110,000, which is, I know it's a sizable chunk of change, like it's a fairly large amount of money.
Of course.
But it's so cheap for this car. And I can't think about anything else. I'm like preparing for my daily broadcast on Bloomberg television, and I should be, reading notes from Rick Reeder at BlackRock on, the labor economy. And instead, I'm talking to ChatGPT about when am I ever going to find an America Roadster again for $110,000? And the chatbot is like, never, you idiot. Why didn't you pull the trigger?
Oh, Matt, I'm sorry. I can only say I'm sorry. This is a loss. This is a huge loss. I don't know what to tell you.
It's killing me.
Do we know? Could you figure out who bought it? Like, do you know the handle of the person?
I hope whoever won the bid doesn't come up with the money, because sometimes that happens. The top bidder just ghosts.
Yeah.
But I'm going to probably have to wait another few years at least. Until something like this. I don't need the Cabrio. I'm happy to have, like I said, anything with the wide body and an NA motor I would take. And obviously I would take a 930 turbo as well, but those are very expensive.
Those are a little more expensive.
Not exactly what I want, but
this is your white whale in a way.
Exactly.
Could be the one that got away.
Had a white interior, unfortunately. I would have changed that right away.
That's tricky. Yeah.
All right.
Well, sorry. I'm sorry for your loss.
Enough of my complaining. Coming up, we've got inside intel on what's next for Bugatti at a far higher price tag. Our chat with the president from the Wynn in Las Vegas right after this.
Welcome back to Hot Pursuit. I'm Hannah Elliott. Now let's talk about Bugatti. It's a name we all know, and they're doing very well. I had this great conversation with Christoph Piochon, the president of Bugatti, who told me their order books are full until 2029.
Which is, by the way, that says something about how well the rich are doing in this world. The rich are really doing well. They're just getting richer and richer. And every day I'm looking at the stock market, which, today was a down week, the first down week in 4, but still well over 6,700 on the S&P. We just had the most bond issuance in any year of all time, $6 trillion of bond issuance, and we're not even at the end of the year. Elon Musk just got,
I was just going to say,
$1 trillion pay package approved. And by the way, overwhelmingly positive. The vote, 75% of shareholders were like, yes, pay him $1 trillion.
This does seem like quite a moonshot type company. You know, I've heard the justifications for it, like we need to give him very high goals because that is the nature of this company, and it always has been. And obviously he won't receive that payout unless he accomplishes these tasks that have been set before him.
Right. He has to make Tesla worth $8.5 trillion. And that would, to be fair, make a lot of other people very rich as well, right? I mean, their market cap has to basically go up 7x. In any case, this is all to say that more and more people can afford Bugattis.
I was just going to say that exact same thing, Matt. Let's get to my interview with Christoph Piochon from Bugatti. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Going? You seem very calm.
It's great to be here in the Wynn in Las Vegas and seeing so much Bugatti at one place.
It's unbelievable. Is it true that this is the world's largest grouping of Bugattis ever?
Ever. Believe me, I'm sitting on the source where normally all Bugattis are produced. And I never saw so much cars on one spot as I did today. We will have over 66 modern Bugatti together gathering here in Las Vegas.
And that's the Veyrons, the Chirons. Will we have some tourbillons here too?
One tourbillon.
Incredible.
But mostly this time we are celebrating the 20 years of Veyron.
Okay.
And I have to say it's also a bit emotional for me because I'm part of this journey since the beginning, let's say, since 2002, and working since the beginning with all project and ideas from Ferdinand Piech, and seeing after 20 years so much modern car together here in Las Vegas. It's really emotional.
Okay, so electric motors versus internal combustion engines, because this is the big debate, of course.
Yeah.
What I hear is that the type of customer in this price point actually does want a combustion engine and is asking for it. Is that also what you're seeing?
That was the feedback we received a few years ago when we started the analyze as a clinic with our potential customers or existing customers of Veyron. That was a clear feedback. The next generation of Bugatti should have at least a thermic engine, and if not fully with a thermal engine, with maybe hybrid. And that's how came the idea with tourbillon.
Why are they so obsessed with combustion engines?
I think it's sensation. You don't drive a Bugatti as a daily. That's something which you use.
I certainly don't, no.
There is few customers which are using it as a daily car, but they want to have some sensations. They want to have, for sure, the acceleration, the feeling of top speed, but also the sound of the engine. And till now, we have the W16, which is very unique for Bugatti with different stage of power. And now with the complete new generation we created with the tourbillon, we also reveal a very sensitive and acoustically impressive V16 with a sensation of a natural aspirated engine.
A hybrid is acceptable.
Yeah.
From your customers are telling you hybrids are acceptable because they still can tap into.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
They use, I would say, we are using the hybrid as a performance support because we wanted to have a more emotional car by having a natural aspirated engine, but you know the weakness of a natural aspirated engine is with the low waves you don't have the torque. And now with the combination with 800 horsepower electric plus 1000 horsepower thermic, that's really a game changer.
You know what I think is really interesting is we're not just talking about pure speed, because we know that electric technology can get us super fast speeds really quickly, instantly.
Yeah.
But what you're describing is not just about speed. It's a combination of some sort of tactile experience.
Because how often are driving our customers over 400 kilometers per hour?
Right.
Very few time. And last time we organized an event like this, it was in Cap Canaveral.
Oh, gosh.
Test drove their own car on the landing place from the space shuttle. But most of the time they are using it on the highway or by curvy roads in the mountains. And then you need to enjoy the acceleration, the torque, and the sensation of a nice engine in the back of you. And this is really what we want to trigger, that we also want to have such kind of expression and feeling of acceleration, but not only the pure acceleration which you can get with an electric car, but also with the sound which is according to.
Sure, of course. Now let's talk about a manual transmission, because it goes hand in hand with the conversation with the combustion engine, because I often hear people say, oh, I'd love to get a manual, whatever, Aston Martin or Pagani, like we just were talking. Whether or not they actually would purchase it, everyone says they want it.
Yeah.
Do you hear that from your customers as well? And would you ever consider it?
We heard about it.
Yeah.
And we are looking also at it, what it could be. But don't forget that 20 years ago, when we introduced the Veyron with the first double clutch system with an hypercar, and I have to say the Veyron was the first hypercar at all. And it was really the creation of a new segment. And the first test drive we had, and I was the one which was organizing the test drive and making it myself also with customers. They were impressed how smooth and how easy it is to drive, because it's not so common to have over 1,000 horsepower available, but to have it easy to drive, this is really the cue.
Yes.
And that's what we manage with the Veyron, which for me is fitting to the philosophy which we have, that we have a luxury car, which is also the fastest one, but easy to drive.
And so it sounds like even if customers say, we really want it,
the manual gear is something more demanding for the driver.
Yes.
It's requesting a lot of more experience in art of driving. And that could be, for some of our customers, very interesting. And maybe we will look at that in the future. But first of all, we want to satisfy 99% of our customers, which are happy with the double clutch system.
Yeah. Okay, I want to ask about speed records. Obviously, Bugatti has held some wonderful land speed record titles in the past. Do you also anticipate you will continue to chase those in the future?
The focus for me is more the liability, and yes, speed is important. Speed we will focus on. We have for sure seen what happens with the Chinese electric car, which broke our record. Best respect for that. But we still have the record with the ICE engine.
Yes, of course.
No?
And I have to imagine it does matter to your customers that is something that attracts them.
Yes.
Is that true?
It's true.
Yes.
Because it's a bit the quartet, my house, my car.
Yes.
And that's the fastest one. That's the joker which you have in your cards. No? And anyway, if you are driving on the road, I can be the fastest one.
Yeah. Okay, finally, I just want to ask you, for your take on where we are right now in an industry. Obviously, it's a really chaotic and difficult, challenging time. Every automaker is trying to figure out how best to navigate tariffs and the economy and everything that's happening. How are you feeling about Bugatti in this moment, and what is your strategy moving forward?
I have to say we are today in a very comfortable situation because we are sold out till 2029. The 250 tourbillons are sold out. Means that my best or my task is to deliver these cars to the loyal customers, which give us the confiance and confidence for their engagement. And I really see a bright future for the brand. What we have seen is, at the beginning, we create a niche with the Veyron. The hypercar market was really the first one, the Veyron. And every time we are making the top of the pyramid of the hypercar always sharper. And that's what we also did now with the Solitaire program to really make it like an hill. And I think in the future, it will be always more demanding. But if we continue on the way we are today with overreaching the expectation of our customers, I really see a bright future for the brand.
Coming up, if you thought that was cool, just wait, because there's more. We hear from Christopher Pagani of the Pagani automobile brand next. This is Hot Pursuit from Bloomberg Radio. Hannah, you really flexed your muscle down at the Wynn Concours, the Las Vegas Concours. What is the official name? What do they call that event?
The official name is the Concours at Wynn Las Vegas, but colloquially we just call it the Las Vegas Concours.
All right, so in any case, a huge gathering of Bugattis, more supercars than have ever gotten together anywhere else, I'm guessing, in the country. And that means there were a lot of Paganis as well, an even rarer mark. Hannah, what did Christopher Pagani tell you? He's Horatio's son, right?
That's right. Christopher is Horatio's son. He is the head of marketing for Pagani, but his role is really bigger than that. Obviously, he's heired at the throne, and he actually acts as really the translator and communicator for his father. Horatio speaks Spanish and Italian. He doesn't really conduct interviews in English. So really, Christopher is the mouth of the company. Chris, thank you for joining us. It's so nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You were just telling me the first time that you've been to the Concours in Vegas. Can you tell me just a little bit about why this year, what was so compelling for you to come, and then tell us a little bit about the crazy amount of cars that you have this year on the field. It's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, I've been coming to Vegas a few times in the past, and I think the car culture became bigger and bigger here, and also we have some nice customers in this area. And when we discussed internally to come and do the event at the Concours, we thought it was a great match with what we do. The timing is great for us as well, and it's kind of a special year because we are doing for the first time we're showing the Huayra Codalunga Speedster.
I'm glad you said it and not me to get the.
That will be the first time we'll show it at a car event. We did a small unveiling in Italy for our customers, but it was a private event, and this is the first time we take it to a public event. So it will be pretty crazy. I was talking to the team here in America, and they told me there are more than 40 Paganis between Zonda, Huayras, and Utopias. So it will be pretty special. We get a great attachment to the cars. So when we see them back, it's like we remember when we produced it and the relationship with the customer. So some of the cars we haven't seen in a while. It will be nice to see them again.
Now, is it true that Pagani has made around 600 cars total in all of your existence since your father founded the company in 1991? Is that accurate?
So it's a mix of Zonda, Huayras, and Utopias. Yes, it's a very small number.
Yes.
The first car was presented in 1999. It took a while to do the first car. So he did the final drawings of the Zonda back in 1992, and it took him 7 years to build the first car. So after that, we did small production, 5-10 cars a year, and up until now we are capable of doing roughly 60 cars a year. So the company in the last 25 plus years has been able to increase a little bit production worldwide.
I want to get to the news about the Speedster, the car that you're going to show us this weekend. Can you tell us just a little bit about why it was so critical to build it now on a market where we're seeing, in a way, so many supercars in general? What makes the Speedster really special, especially to your consumers and owners?
So Speedster, let's say the Codalunga project has, let's say, 2 cars. So you have the Codalunga Coupe and then the Speedster we just came out a few months ago. The Codalunga was celebrating, Codalunga means long tail in Italian. The Codalunga is celebrating the essence of cars in the 60s and 70s where they had to have like a longer shape to be aerodynamic.
Sure. Now
you don't need that anymore, but because the aerodynamical studies did big steps into how the air flows into the car. But the Speedster was more of an inspiration that came from Porsche.
Oh, interesting.
My father is a big, he loves Mercedes-Benz, of course. But
Another
Porsche,
Stuttgart team.
Porsche for him is a big love of his childhood, and he has an apartment in Milan where he goes every week, and there is always a car meet that is just around the corner from his house every Sunday. And he sees from his balcony, he sees the cars leaving from the car show. And he saw this Porsche 356 Speedster. And he sees the design, the shape of how the car looks like. And he said, I need to do something on a Codalunga that has an inspiration to that car. And it took a few months and then he just got back home, spoke to the designers about the idea, and then they worked hard. They created this. And this is how the car came out.
Wow. And what has the response been from your customers?
There's a wait list.
Say no more.
Luckily, every time there's a project, we call it grandi complicazione, which is grand complication, comes from the watch industry. So it's one-off cars, few-off cars, limited edition cars. There's a lot of interest. Not every Pagani customer can approach those cars. But so far, the reception has been pretty good. They only saw photos. That's the first time they will see the car.
So let's talk under the hood. I'm V12 combustion engine.
Yes.
Talk to me about the conversations that you have internally about continuing combustion engines when so many people are experimenting with hybrid or electric technology.
So, when we had to think of a new car from the Huayra, so it was the right time as a life cycle to think about the new car. That was the Utopia. We have a great dialogue with our customers. We talk to them and we try to engage with them and understand what they like.
They feel they can give you honest feedback about that.
And there's full transparency.
Sure.
There's a lot of back and forth. Probably because we're a small company, we can still have this human interface, which is very important. And so they gave us a lot of feedbacks on what they really wanted on the future cars, and the answers were V12. You gotta stick with the V12 and not do V8 or others. Lightweight, so it has to still be a lightweight car. We want the manual transmission back, so that was a big challenge. Which on the Codalunga Speedster you find it also, and no hybrids.
Why?
Because of pure analog driving.
This is what you were hearing.
The driver in the center, so less complications in terms of a powertrain that has a hybrid solution is always more complicated than a full electric or a full.
Because it's both.
You have both that have to engage with each other. And the Utopia was actually born to be produced in two ways. So the full V12 no hybrid and a full electric car. The Utopia platform. And after 6-7 years of development, we have a team that works on EV cars, and my dad is a big enthusiast also on let's say new projects. And an EV car is exciting.
Yes,
it's a thing you gotta study. You have to talk to the suppliers, and you have to really think in a different way. And challenges for him are accepted. There's always when you can make a step forward, it's always fun. We were ready to find out the solution on the engineering part of the EV car. We did a roundtable with all the dealers worldwide, and none of the customers wanted an EV car. So they said, let's stick with the V12.
You mentioned that a manual transmission is more difficult.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you mean by that? What do you mean? Do you mean engineering-wise, or do you mean more difficult to make money on it?
the engine, it's, let's say, creating an analog car in 2025 is much more difficult than making it 15 years ago. Because 15 years ago, you had all the supply chain to still make a gearbox, clutch, things that can be fitted to your car. So all the development of the gearbox itself, the synchronizers with a car that has more than 1,000 RPM Newton meters of torque, it's a challenge because the drivability of it needs to be enjoyable on a slow pace.
For someone who's not a professional.
No, but in
driver.
general, our cars, they need to be enjoyed at slow speed and also at fast, driving fast. And the amount of kilometers that you have to put all your prototypes on a solution like that, it's, again, is a big challenge. But we accept it because we believe customers are paid back by the decision.
Matt, I really have to say, I missed having you sitting across from me on the desk at this show. It was a very interesting show. It's not on the premier level of Pebble Beach or Amelia Island yet, but I have to say this Las Vegas Concours is, I predict, going to only get bigger.
Well, hopefully one day I'll be able to go, and
we'll get you west.
I'm a little bit jealous because Paganis are some of my favorite vehicles. I've actually been to the factory on numerous occasions.
Cool. What was it like?
It's like one big room in which they're building, only 2 or 3 vehicles at a time, but you get to see sort of every aspect of what they do, and you get a tour with the whole history of Horatio, starting or becoming chief engineer at Lamborghini, and then he was the only guy who thought they should get an autoclave for carbon fiber. And Lambo was like, no, we don't need to invest in that. And so he bought it himself and then did all of their work, and he still does a ton of their work. So it's just a really cool place, and I love the precision, CNC, custom-made cuts of each individual piece. And obviously, I'm a big fan of the 12-cylinder motor, and it's just artistry. It's just, honestly, it's craftsmanship.
It really is, and it's so apparent. And, these cars are polarizing. Some people don't like them. They think they're too flashy, they're too whatever. But the people who do love them really see them as a celebration of this exact craftsmanship that you're describing, the celebration of these, in a way, very rare human-driven practices. And I just think that's so cool. These are not cookie-cutter cars. These are truly hand-built works of art.
All right, well, that does it for this week's show. Remember to follow and subscribe to Hot Pursuit on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen. You can also send us your comments. Email us at hotpursuit@bloomberg.net.
And you can check out my columns and stories on Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. You can go there for car reviews, events, and stories that you won't find anywhere else. Find it all on Bloomberg.com/pursuits/autos. I'm Hannah Elliott.
And I'm Matt Miller. We'll be back with a fresh podcast in your feed next Friday.